Hi there, welcome back to the Apostate Apistevist channel. I think I've got a real treat for you guys today. This is actually the second time I tried to record this video because I'm a noob at recording videos and I messed up the audio on the first one. I think I've got it right this time. All right, this one is about calling out abuse in the atheist community, my community. And this video is by Holy Koolaid. His name is Thomas Westbrook. He's known for doing very high production value videos. He looks into things very thoroughly, you know, but I'll link to his channel below, and I hope you check him out. So this video for me is very significant. Um, Part of why I created the channel was to have better conversations, and better conversations are conversations that are not abusive. Um, I also think, this is significant for me because it's important to call out people from our own people groups. When we call out our own folks, constructive criticism is less likely to be dismissed by people within our own group. Another reason it's important to call out our own groups is that it can serve as like an olive branch between people that disagree with you. They can see that you're trying to be fair, and that can indicate that you're not trying to spread vitriol. You're really there to have a conversation in good faith, and I think that's important to me. Selfishly, it can also help to make sure that your personal reputation isn't sullied by groups you identify with. In my opinion, that is an incredibly poor motivation. But all things being equal, it's still beneficial to call out abuse within your own group. So I think that applies to every group, political divisions as well as religious ones and so forth and so on. There's sort of a stay in your lane sort of phrase that goes around that kind of goes along with that. Call out the people that you know that you're a part of. So with that, let's kind of dive into the video. It really meant a lot to me. I cried the first time I saw it um, because this is just it's part of why I made my channel. So here we go.
I gave the following talk at the Better Conference last month in Fort Wayne, Indiana on how to spot and avoid toxic and abusive online behavior, and while my focus is on the atheist community, my community, the points in this talk are largely universal and hopefully can help you to spot and avoid online abuse in any community that you're a part of.
Love this intro.
My name is Thomas Westbrook, and I was in 2 different abusive relationships. And today, I want to talk about abuse, because I've seen signs of abuse rife throughout the atheist community. And it worries me, because this is my family. These are the people who I go to conferences with, who I have over to my home, who I eat dinner with. These are my friends. These are people that I love. But I see things that are reminiscent of the times that I was in these relationships. Abusive situations don't all look the same. Sometimes you have people who are angry alcoholics. Sometimes you have people with borderline personality disorder. You have people who are narcissists. You have people who have bipolar. The list goes on. And just because you suffer from a personality disorder or a particular condition, it doesn't mean that you have to take out that pain on other people. But I wanted to understand where it's coming from. So I started looking for some of the signs of abuse and trying to figure out, because what I found myself doing with the atheist community is I found myself gray rocking. Gray rocking is where you become uninterested and unresponsive as much as you possibly can. Your objective is to make someone lose interest in you. when you're in a relationship with someone who is, especially with narcissists, if you respond in any way with any kind of emotion to them, if let's say that they ask you if you're excited about something and you respond, oh yeah, I'm super excited, then they'll be like, why are you excited about that? You shouldn't be excited about that. Or no, I'm not really. Why are you excited about that? What's wrong with you? This is a big deal. And there's no right answer. You're constantly walking through a minefield where the mines are in different positions every single day, and you don't know when you're about to step on one. It's a terrifying thing. And then if you bring it up to them and you say, you said this and it really made me feel this way, it hurt me. They're like, I didn't say that, and they gaslight you. They make you feel like you're going crazy. So you start gray rocking. They say, you heard about this? Yeah. Try to be uninteresting. You don't feed their needs for drama or attention. You don't show emotion or say anything interesting or disclose any personal information, nor do you ask questions or participate in conversations except for brief, factual replies. The reason I'm having this talk right now is because I found myself gray rocking the atheist community.
So have I. I was actually tempted to do this just a few days ago. So there was a video that was talking about found herentism, and it sounded a lot like the scientific method to me. So I was having trouble distinguishing between the two, and I still haven't looked into it enough to know. But I was tempted not to ask the question because there's a lot of folks that know a lot about stuff, and because it's you just kind of get like some condescending remarks sometimes when you don't know things. And so I was afraid of being called out a little bit like that. But luckily I did ask the question, and hopefully I'll get it figured out before too long. But this is something that I have definitely done in the community too. I have gray rocked.
And that to me was a warning sign that there were elements of abuse within the atheist community towards each other.
Oh, and just as a side note, I think the Bible also has something to say about that. It says even a fool is thought wise if he holds his tongue, and I'll find the actual verse that is and link it in the description box. But I think that's essentially the same as gray rocking. You hold your tongue, so that you don't subject yourself to ridicule.
There are elements within the atheist community where we project abuse out onto others. And most of us completely look the other way and act like it's not a big deal, or we act self-righteous about it, like there's some reason why it's okay if we do it, because the ends justify the means.
Wow. The ends justify the means. What an incredibly frightening prospect. If you take that, to the extreme, you can justify, just about any wicked act because you think that the outcome will be good or beneficial. I'm betting that anyone listening here can think of, maybe like political parties or some area where people have done things on the basis of, the ends justify the means. And so that's a frightening thing I feel like we've just got to speak out about.
Well, let's take a look at what a couple of those signs of abuse are. The first is we constantly criticize others. How often do you go online and see your Twitter feed nothing but positivity and love and sunshine and roses, and people saying, oh my God, that shirt looks so good on you.
That shirt looks good on you, Thomas.
90% of the stuff that we see it's for the purpose of generating outrage and anger and calling others names. When we're talking to others outside of our community, we dehumanize them. They're Christians, they don't get it. They're conservatives. There's these tribalistic dividing lines. We other people. We fail
to see the person behind the keyboard. That's pretty big for me. My opinion is that life is hard. Most people are doing the best they can with the resources and experience they have available at the time. Sometimes a lack of information or a lack of another resource will cause unintentional or well-intentioned folks to do things that goes against their goals. Can you think of a time when you meant to do the right thing and it completely went the other way? I know I sure can. Without getting too much into it, I evaluate actions on two bases: the intended consequence and the actual consequence. And I might explain more about that in another video. But if we can remember a time that we've made a mistake, no matter how trivial, maybe we can cut others some slack for not being perfect too.
to see the person behind the keyboard. There's one situation where, and I'm not going to give names for the sake of privacy, but there's a particular individual who wrestled with social situations and understanding and trying to figure out how to engage and it was in a new environment. The times are changing rapidly, and this person was autistic. They said something a little bit off. They didn't understand what they said off, and instantly the internet descended upon them with fangs drawn, ready to attack. What the hell? Even if they didn't have autism, that's a person with feelings.
Mm-hmm.
They're not trying to be malicious. We have no concern for how we make others feel. Since when is it okay to attack other people constantly and berate them and destroy them simply because we disagree with them on the internet? We belittle and we shame. We resort to name calling, religitard, creationist idiots. You can't reason someone out of something that they weren't reasoned into to begin with. What is this, guys? Is this junior high? You worship a God who condones genocide?
Some things I can take, like, water off a duck's back. This isn't one of those things. This makes my blood boil. It's hurtful, it's mean, and most of the time it isn't even true. I know lots of creationists that are not idiots by any stretch of the imagination. I regularly seek advice and counsel from my betters, and a lot of them are creationists. So that's just blatantly on its face false. Also, like, why would someone even use language like that? What does a person saying stuff like that think it will accomplish? I suspect it isn't even meant for the people that they insult. I can't know someone else's mind, but I have my suspicions there. Some of the people saying stuff like this were once devout believers themselves. Do they also hate themselves? If you want to make an enemy and betray that you have no good reason to think what you think, this is a fantastic way to do it. If a person has reasoning and data to support their position, they don't need to resort to attacking someone else to make it look like they won the argument. If you tell me the sky is lime green, I'll direct your eyes to the sky. It does nothing but damage to call them a light spectrum tard or something like that. This is the sort of thing that gets me worked up. We have got to stop the abuse. This is BS. It shouldn't be tolerated anywhere. I don't necessarily think it ought to be illegal or anything like that. I also believe in free speech. But what I'm saying is we have got to raise the bar. And that's all for this video, and I'll get into the rest at some other time. Thank you very much.